All right, and we are live here back on the old soapbox. Hopefully we're doing well. Want to dive into a little episode here, chat about a few things that, from some user questions about coaching, and gotten some great feedback. A lot of people are like, love the channel, love the content, appreciate that stuff on YouTube and on iTunes and all that other stuff. So I really appreciate that. And basically, what I want to talk about in this episode is something that I think we've touched on before, but we have, I think the specific question is, all right, we have three main jobs as a coach, and we educate, we inspire, and we entertain. We've talked a lot about the education. We've talked a lot about how to see and correct and how to set yourself up for success from a programming perspective and all of these things. And now, the inspiration thing, hopefully we've talked, hopefully we can draw the parallels between living the program, breathing what we talk about, whether it's from, doing your programming, whether it is, following the nutritional protocol, whatever it might be. It's the, your inspiration actually comes from you living the program, struggling with your people, and then, and delivering the message in a way that is inspiring, that is something that motivates people. We could talk more about that, but really inspiration and then entertainment it dovetails into a very similar piece, right? And what does that mean? And someone, asked me, they're like, when it means, when we think about entertain, what does that actually mean? Are we clowns? Do we just joke around? How do we entertain without kind of discrediting what we're doing and kind of go away from who we are? And I do think it's a challenge for a lot of coaches. So let's talk about what we actually mean by entertain, how it meshes nicely with your inspiration, and that it's not going to be easy for everyone, and it's not a cookie cutter answer. So entertainment means you got to have fun. I always ask these three questions after I evaluate a class, or if I'm at a seminar and someone just coached the class and I'm breaking the class down. It's like, all right, well, did you get a good workout in? Great. Did you have the opportunity to learn something new or refine a current skill? And did you have fun? If you answer yes to those three questions, you probably have done something right within that hour of coaching. The last one, did you have fun, is so important, right? And the reason why is because CrossFit's hard. It's a difficult thing. Working hard is hard, and it should be fun. I mean, we have to allow people when they walk into our gym to really have, as my buddy Ackerman and Jay Fern have a podcast, the best hour of their day. Well, that's what that means. We got to give them the best hour of their day. Now, what's hard is that, when you have a class of 10 to 20 people, everyone's definition of entertainment, of fun and enjoyment is a little different. So you can't, be unbelievably polarizing, or else people will not really like you that much. But what we can do is be authentic and genuine. So the best way I can describe this is, when you take a class, it should be something where it is lighthearted enough to realize that this is not serious. We're not solving world peace. We're not going to the CrossFit Games here. We're just working out. And really, it's a really simple concept. We are trying to get the heart rate up, move well, move some weight, get some reps in, get it done quickly, and move on, right? So it's not serious. And it starts in the very beginning. It starts with your demeanor. You have to, and this is the demonstration of the program, you have to love what you do. You have to be invested in your people, and you have to be passionate about this stuff. So, we can maybe do another podcast on how to avoid burnout. But if you're burned out, it's not that you don't love what you do. You don't have anything to give, right? Sort of like, you can't pour water from an empty glass. You need water to pour from. And we'll talk about that. But you got to be amped up. You got to be excited. You got to give them everything you have. And it starts in the beginning. And a good example is if someone asked me this question at an advanced coaching concept seminar this weekend that I was leading here at Reebok in Boston. And they said, do you punish people for being late? And the answer is no. We start punishing people, it's no longer like a fun scenario. We have to just be caring and and yeah, we can make sure we're not being disrespected, and we don't want to bring that stuff. But for the most part, people don't they're late because of some other reason, but they're showing up to your gym. So that's a good example how you can start your class off like, we can't be punitive if we want to create an enjoyable and fun, safe environment, or else people won't come to your class. They'll just be like, oh, I'm late, I'm not coming. And that's the last thing we want, right? We don't want people not to come to class. People are like, when is it unsafe to do that, like to work out? I'm like, come on, like be a good enough coach to warm them up on and change the workout. But, I'm never going to turn people away from fitness. Come on now, like that's what we want to do. So we got to just relax. So I think that's step one, relax and understand that what we're doing here is simple stuff. And so, one, we need to make sure that the focus is a workout. We can't stray away from that. But yeah, when you intro the class, talk to people, get to know people, goof around a little bit, touch base, make sure you know their names. Make it something where it's informal. It's an informal setting, right? That's step one. It does really go back to your lesson plan as well. Like, gosh, who would have thought, like, in order for you to inspire, in order for you to entertain, you need to be prepared. You need to have a wonderfully laid out class. Your programming needs to be appropriate so you can have time to teach, see, and correct, and coach. You have your transitions planned. You have time for you to make personal interaction and personal connections. And this so it starts with the programming, then then it levels into the lesson plan, but then it also is obviously predicated on your knowledge and experience. The more knowledgeable and experienced you are, the easier it is for you to kind of flow from one thing to another. Because one of my favorite aspects is to, when I do a warm-up, so, I like a warm-up that is less regimented and more, all right, we're going to do 3 rounds of, we're going to do bike, we're going to hang from the pull-up bar, some scat pull-ups, we're going to do some pass-throughs and some squats. Set a number on it, set 3 rounds or maybe a time. And what I do is I walk around and I coach the heck out of people, but I communicate, I talk, I smile, I laugh, I enjoy that time with them. It's low stress, they're getting warmed up, I can add value, and what I'm really doing is just touching base and starting to lighten it up a little bit. And then from there, you have to dovetail that into assessment of people, where they're at, do people want to be talked to a lot or left alone, like those things matter. And then just, playful banter. Who can you play with? All right, you turn the music down, turn it up, who are you going to tell them to hurry up, so on and so forth. Music is probably one of the biggest things that you can really help modulate for the entertainment factor. Most coaches really struggle with this because they don't think music's important. It's a presentation for an hour, so you need to have your playlist prepared. You really need to know, and it's not about you. I really get frustrated when coaches play what they like or their music. Because remember, you have 20 people that aren't you, and 20 people have different musical tastes. So you got to create a playlist that is, one, you're not going to go hard in the paint with Avenged Sevenfold in the warm up, nor do you want Enya during the workout. So, but there's time and a place for all of that. Just be aware. And yeah, you can obviously have your style and types of music, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what you don't want is you don't want people to be like, oh God, I don't want to go to Austin's class because he always plays, this type of music. Now, warm-up music, transition music, amped up for the workout, and cool-down music. That's how you create an experience throughout, and it's got to be fun. There's a reason why people love to go to like boot camp style classes, or they go to spin classes. It's because those classes are really they're an experience. And people really like that. So take those best practices and don't be so naive. Don't be so conceited. Don't be so narrow-minded to be like, well, this is CrossFit and this is what we do. No, just relax. Have some fun. I like listening to good music, and so do you. But mix it up a little bit. And it's like, well, I hate this music. Well, other people don't. And it's not about you. It's about them. So that can be really, really helpful, making sure that your music's on point. Stop making excuses of like, well, I don't have this or that. Just get it done. Figure it out. Figure out in your class plan of how you're going to modulate the volume or change the class and the music and all that. It all comes down to preparation. The more you prepare, the easier it is going to be for you guys. And then from there, from an entertainment perspective, it's just, you need to have such an intimate knowledge with what you're teaching. So if you go into a teaching progression, it's got to be fun, and it has to be somewhat challenging, and it has to be also inspiring. So when you teach a progression, say like in a pull-up, and if the majority of your class has pull-ups, right, we have to make, give them little challenges, give them tweaks. It has to be a good time. Also speed it up or slow it down based off what you're seeing. That's what a good veteran coach can do, is that they tweak the progression based off what the athletes are actually doing in front of them. So this is something that can be really helpful to increase the entertainment value there. Now, admittedly, during the skill portion and loading phase, it's not too much entertainment. It's more enjoyment. It's more purpose and focus driven, but it doesn't have to be super serious. That's another thing where and that's what is important. But I do think where the entertainment thing can be driven home is post-workout. Every class should have a post-workout time, whether it's stretching, whether it's a true cool down on type of machine, or whether it is some type of accessory work, depending on your workout. And so this is the time where it can be super fun. I love this time to create one. All right, guys, we have 10 minutes left in class. Let's clean up the gear. Then we can either stretch. Here are the stretches I want you to do, boom, boom, boom. Or we can do some accessory work. Or you can go home early. And then from there, we have a great time. We mix it up. We do some challenges. And it doesn't have to be written on the board. Mix up your accessory work, make it fun. Like if someone's doing, people sometimes, a good way to do this is have monthly challenges in your gym where it's push-ups or double unders or whatever, max plank holds, then you can get everyone in on it. Even if they're not in on the challenge, they can join in for that class. You can do fun stuff like, my favorite is sort of the merry-go-round push-ups where everyone gets in a circle, everyone holds the plank, and you do one push-up. Everyone holds a plank, and everyone does one, and then two, and then three, and then four. You can have some fun with that. You can get set up in small teams and see who can go the longest. These are things where it can be fun, fitness related. It's challenging, but it's enjoyable, and people they fail a push-up or whatever it is, and it's a good time hanging from a pull-up bar. You can do some good stuff there. Do some bicep curls, do some bench press. These are things that we should be doing. And this is where, instead of packing your class full of strength and mech and all this sort of stuff, and we talked about that ad nauseum, but set your class up where you can do some cool stuff and have fun and add value, and that's how we entertain. And it should be an enjoyable hour, and you have a full hour. And that's why you're running your timeline, and lesson plans are so important, because giving your athletes that time all the way up to minute zero is so important. And if you are running over on time and you do that after the hour, one, it kind of messes up the whole gym schedule for the most part, but also if people actually have a schedule, it's inappropriate, right? I get it. It's hard. I don't do it perfect all the time, but you got to think about this type of stuff. It's when it's all said and done, your passion for what you do and why you do it will ooze out of you and come across to them, and it will excite them. They will have fun. But you need to earn the right to deliver this stuff. And what I mean by that is you need to be working so hard to get better. You need to get feedback on what you're doing, because you can be super entertaining, but your coaching kind of sucks. You can get away with that for a while, but you got to get some feedback. In the beginning, you're not going to be a great coach. You also don't want to be a boring coach, but your passion and care will guide you. But your passion and care should also guide you to keep learning, and that humility is super important. So these are just some things that I wanted to give to you guys on how do we educate, inspire, and entertain. Inspiration in a class, as we kind of touch on that real quick, that's one of those things where you inspire them through scaling options. You inspire them through proper loading, inspire them through micro goals within a class, within a workout, within a round, and allow them to achieve that within your skill sessions, in your warm-ups, giving them an opportunity to do something they've never done before. Get someone to kick up into a handstand for their first time. Celebrate that. Ring the bell. It may not be doing that in the workout, but if they do something they've never done before, it's so inspirational, and that inspires other people. Create an environment where people are doing things for their first time. It's so amazing. And that's as simple as it needs to be from an inspirational perspective. It doesn't need to be like, having some war speech before a class, but telling them what you expect and giving them a little guidance beforehand to get their mindset correct, to tell them what they should be thinking about, when it's going to get difficult, how to push through. These are things that, some people might really appreciate. Other people might not need it or want it, but again, you giving that to them can be super helpful. So again, as a coach, we educate, we inspire, we entertain. How do we do that? It starts with your knowledge base. It starts with your preparation. And all of this is driven by your passion and your purpose. And with that, we can never stop forging forward. So again, I hope you guys find some value in this. But you walk into a class of someone that's really good, they're going to add value to everyone. Their confidence will just sort of, exude out of them, and you're going to want to work hard. And it's a good time because the environment's healthy. A healthy, fun, progressive environment is one that is an enjoyable one where people will come back to do difficult things like fitness at speed. All right, guys. So again, guys, this is the Soapbox. I think we're past episode 20. No idea where we're at. I really appreciate the feedback. I'll keep it coming. Hit me up with comments if there's something that you like, that you don't like, that you want to hear. But let's keep this going. It's around the holiday season, so I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, wherever you guys are at, and appreciate the support, and we'll keep this rolling.